This podcast is brought to you by Arete Media.
Welcome back to the AI Analysis Podcast. Adam and Ilea here. We apologize for the last episode. We took up smoking, but our voices are back to normal now. And speaking of comedy, we're taking a look at another episode from Weekly Wrestling Wrap-Up.
Oh, this one was something else. September 2nd, 2007.
Yeah, what an episode. I mean, right from the jump, the humor was just wild. Remember the opening? Peter, one of the hosts, supposedly injured beyond repair.
Right, they set it up like it was tragic.
And then, bam, the $6 million man parody he's rebuilt as, the $6 million pan.
A literal pizza pan.
Yeah.
With like bionic sound effects and everything.
He was so absurd, visually just hilarious. It really set the stage immediately.
Yeah, and you know, that opening sequence really tells you something. Around that time, 2007, the Weekly Wrestling Wrap-Up guys, Jake, Nick, Peter, Joey, they were clearly experimenting, pushing more into comedy, you know, not just recapping.
Right, leaning into gags, sketch comedy almost.
Exactly. It's interesting because it kind of foreshadows how a lot of online content works now, blending analysis with, well, personality and humor, finding its voice.
And that's what we're exploring here. We watched this 2007 wrap-up, and for you listening, we're pulling out the key bits. You wanted to know how wrestling back then mixed the serious drama with some pretty out-there comedy.
Yeah, and what that tells us about what makes entertainment stick.
Exactly. So consider this your look into wrestling around late 2007. Through the unique lens of this particular recap show, we'll hit the big wrestling stories from Raw, ECW, TNA that week, but also those unforgettable comedy moments from the wrap-up itself.
Definitely, because the hosts themselves were a big part of the comedy.
Oh, absolutely. Beyond Peter the Pan, there were other running gags, like Joey Holmes and his self-diagnosed drinking problem.
Oh, yeah, that was brilliant. He claimed his problem wasn't drinking too much.
Right. It was not drinking enough. After his, quote, scientific study at a frat house.
His body was just reacting badly to the lack of alcohol. Just perfect, absurd logic.
Totally.
Yeah.
And that kind of character stuff, it just makes the show, pop.
It does. It adds personality, makes it feel less scripted. For you, the listener, looking for those aha moments, that kind of meta humor makes it engaging, memorable. It's not just information. It's like an experience.
Yeah.
Builds loyalty, makes you feel like you're in on the joke.
You really felt that energy. And I remember the whole bit with the intern always getting sent for drinks.
Yeah, that was a recurring thing. Definitely a product of its time, that kind of humor.
And poor Nick just lamenting that the $6 million pan wasn't the real Peter.
Even though the others were like, no, Nick, it's the same Peter in here, pointing at the pan.
Just committing to the bit. It was great.
Speaking of committing to bits, probably the peak of absurdity on the wrap-up itself was Joe Holmes's urgent live news bulletin.
Oh my God, yes. He comes on all serious, like, this is huge, bump in my SmackDown report.
And then announces, Andre the Giant is back.
Andre the Giant, who, died 15 years earlier.
But Joe's like, nope, spotted in Alabama, eating a donut. It's a government conspiracy.
Claims Andre's from Mars. Sent back because they feared he'd take over the world.
And the warning, hide your children, hide your pets, hide your blood, because Andre's back for vengeance.
Complete with a crude drawing of L.A. destroyed.
I mean, that's just pure over-the-top comedy gold. Any pretense of serious news, gone. The delivery was so dramatic, but the content was just utterly ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's why it works, that contrast. It's parody at its finest.
Definitely broke the mold for a recap show. Okay, so while the wrap-up hosts were doing that, let's talk about actual WWE Raw from that week, August 30th, 2007.
Right, because Raw had its own mix of serious and questionable stuff happening.
Randy Orton was furious after losing to Cena at SummerSlam, comes out demanding a rematch.
And the wrap-up guys immediately hit him with the ooh, too soon joke about the steroid suspension.
Yeah, they didn't pull punches.
No, and Orton's character work here was key. Really getting under people's skin, generating that heat, especially against Cena. Cena being the hometown hero in Boston that night, just amplified it. Denying the big babyface hero what he wants. Classic booking to build tension.
And speaking of building, Umaga destroying Kennedy and Jeff Hardy after their match.
Textbook dominant heel strategy. Make him look like a monster by taking out popular guys. Very effective.
But then, maybe the most memorable segment of Raw that week, Carlito's Cabana.
Oh boy. With Vince McMahon as the guest during that whole bastard son storyline.
Triple H turns it into a dating game to find the mother and the contestants.
Wow. Yeah, they went there. First, a woman Triple H described in, let's say, very 2007 terms. a fat African-American woman.
Then a one-eyed woman whose eye Triple H joked Vince blew out back in the day.
Then Carlito's own sister, who actually swallowed the apple, which shocked everyone.
Yeah, because Carlito's thing is spitting it, right? The ultimate disrespect.
And the finale. A woman named Frank, who Triple H reveals. Well,
Yeah. Has male anatomy. And Triple H hits his old DX line about animals.
it was audacious, definitely risque, even for WWE back then. Pushed boundaries, got people talking.
For sure. The wrap-up posts were reacting with a mix of, like, did they really just do that? And pure amusement. It amplified the shock value.
It shows how WWE was willing to take comedic risks, even if they haven't all aged perfectly. Creates buzz.
And then Carlito, probably not his smartest career move, spits the apple in Triple H's face anyway.
Gets a spine buster and pedigree for his trouble. Instantly shut down.
Right. Raw also had other stuff, like Cody Rhodes and Kendrick London beating Daivari's team.
Yeah, building up younger talent.
And Crime Time versus Caden Murdoch. Gotta love the money, yeah.
Catchphrases are key. Plus, Orton's still acting like a little baby, demanding a title shot from Vince.
Beth Phoenix attacking Maria. Snitsky interrupting Candice Michelle. Lots going on.
And Regal telling Vince his whole family and lawyers were coming next week about the Sun situation. Drama.
But the main event, King Booker versus Cena, ends in a no contest. Orton interferes.
Classic run-in finish.
Orton and Booker beat Cena down. But then, the really shocking part. Orton pulls John Cena's actual dad out of the crowd and kicks him square in the head. The wrap-up posts said it looked pretty damn real.
And that right there, that's how you make a feud intensely personal. Forget the title for a second. This is about family, about brutality. It instantly elevates Orton as the top villain, makes the rivalry feel incredibly real and high stakes. That's storytelling that lasts.
Brutal stuff. Okay, let's shift gears. ECW that week. Jake Russell on the wrap-up was raving, called it a 10 out of 10, high praise from him.
Yeah, he usually found something to complain about. His only wish was for RVD's return.
But John Morrison had a great segment, running down the other guys in the upcoming Fatal 4-Way for the ECW title.
His shaman of sexy persona really let him get away with some witty lines.
Totally. Dismissing Boogeyman as a freak doing Dancing with the Stars, saying The Miz sucks at everything, might try Iron Chef.
Called Big Daddy V grotesquely fat, but admitted his size made him a threat.
But his analysis of CM Punk was interesting, noting Punk kept being the #1 contender and that Morrison himself cheated to beat Punk at SummerSlam.
Right, basically acknowledging Punk was due, which ties into the booking strategy we talked about.
How so?
Well, Punk being perpetually almost there, it builds huge fan anticipation. You want him to finally win. Morrison acknowledging it adds another layer. It makes the eventual win massive.
Makes sense. The wrap-up guys also loved the Kevin Thorne versus Stevie Richards match, mentioned the Stevie kick.
Yeah, little moments for longtime fans.
And that backstage bit, the Miz and Extreme Expose making fun of Balls Mahoney.
Calling him fat and ugly.
But then Kelly, who was with Miz, ditches him later to caress Balls Mahoney during his match.
See, that's the soap opera element.
Yeah.
Shifting alliances, little relationship dramas outside the ring. Adds texture, gives you more characters to follow.
Definitely. But maybe the best ECW moment, comedically, was Punk himself.
Oh, yeah. What did he do?
Morrison and Armando Estrada are backstage, talking about Morrison's title celebration, maybe a victory cigar. The camera pulls back, and there's CM Punk, just silently munching a cantaloupe right in Morrison's face.
Oh, that's classic Punk. No big speech, just that dry wit, the facial expression, perfect contrast to the usual wrestling bravado.
Exactly. The wrap-up hosts loved it. It shows how comedy can be subtle, too. Punk's mannerisms were a huge part of his character.
Definitely a different style. So the main event, the Fatal 4-Way itself.
Punk, Big Daddy V, Boogeyman Miz. Wrap-up said Boogeyman just kind of disappeared.
Okay.
Big Daddy V flops like a flounder over the barrier. So it basically came down to Punk versus Miz.
Yeah. Let me guess.
Yep. CM Punk wins. Another #1 contender spot.
Okay. See? That's the frustration building.
The wrap-up guys were beside themselves. Like, why can't he just win the title? But they hoped it would finally happen at Unforgiven.
It's textbook booking to make that eventual win feel earned. Delaying gratification. It clearly worked on the wrap-up hosts and likely the fans, too.
Okay, we got to take a quick break. We'll be right back to talk TNA and the memorable match after this word from our sponsor.
Hey, so let's talk about that amazing idea you've got. You know, the one that's always in the back of your mind? Well, it absolutely deserves to be heard. Today, we're going to look at a network that's built to do just that, to amplify your voice and make that idea a reality. Seriously, think about it for a second. What's that one thing you're passionate about? That one story that only you can tell? We all have that topic we could just talk about for hours on end, right? But there's a catch. That's the big question, isn't it? It's the hurdle that stops so many fantastic ideas cold. The how of it all can feel, well, super overwhelming and honestly a little intimidating. So what if you had a partner to help you get over that hurdle? Well, let's meet Arete Media. It's a podcast network, and its whole mission is to help creators like you launch and grow their shows. Think of them as your partner in crime, helping with the tough stuff so you can just focus on being creative. Now, anyone can say they'll help, right? But the real proof is in the community they've built. And you've got shows that dive into pop culture and revisit those childhood scares, like the Goosebumps crew, sitting right alongside shows that give you these sharp business insights, like Startup Cores with Salt, Arizona. And the list just keeps going. There are shows about self-improvement, deep dives into the magic of Broadway, even really academic explorations of classical music. It just goes to show you there's a space for every single kind of creator. It shows that no topic is too niche or, frankly, too bold. And this isn't just some static library of old shows. It's a living, breathing community. It's not just about making content, it's about celebrating it. For instance, they even host the annual Arete Awards to recognize the best shows on the network. And just to show you how active it is, here's the latest episode from the Average Intelligence podcast, which just dropped. Seeing this really drives home that the network is constantly platforming its creators and their brand new work. So after seeing all of this, the question is pretty simple. You've got the idea. You've seen that there's a community waiting. Are you ready to take that step and finally share your voice? And here's how you do it. The whole path from idea to launch is laid out for you right there. It's not just about podcasts. It's about the stories and the knowledge and the passion inside all of us. So, what's yours?
All right, we're back. Let's jump into TNA Impact from that week in late August 2007.
TNA often had a different feel. Still wrestling drama, but maybe structured a bit differently sometimes.
Yeah, this episode opened kind of hot. Team 3D versus Motor City Machine Guns was scheduled. But Scott Steiner confronts MCMG first about injuring his brother Rick, leads to a big backstage brawl. And MCMG used a chair on Scott Steiner's throat. Ouch. Sent him to the hospital in the storyline.
Then MCMG issue an open challenge.
Ugh, the open challenge. TNA used that quite a bit. Good way to get surprises and showcase more talent.
It was answered and won by the Voodoo Kin Mafia.
Okay, VKM, Billy Gunn, and Road Dogg, essentially.
Who then immediately issue their own open challenge.
Back to back. Okay, chaotic.
And the wrap-up host said basically everybody came out. LAX, Triple X, Eric Young, Shark Boy. Just a huge scrum.
Right, so that format creates instant action, gets a lot of faces on screen quickly. Very TNA.
So the main event was another multi-man match, a big one. Sting versus Samoa Joe versus AJ Styles versus Christian Cage.
Wow, that's a stacked lineup for Impact back then. What were the stakes?
Winner gets to be Kurt Angle's tag partner at the upcoming No Surrender pay-per-view to defend the tag titles.
Interesting stipulation, so who won?
Well, Cage and Joe brawled outside the arena, kind of took each other out, left Sting and Styles. Sting countered AJ's moves and locked in the Scorpion Deathlock for the win.
So Sting gets the spot.
Yep.
Sting and Angle as tag partners.
That's an interesting dynamic. Exactly. Angle and Karen come out, congratulate Sting, offer peace. Sting's hesitant, but shakes Angle's hand.
Okay. Seems like a moment of respect, maybe.
For about 2 seconds. Then, Pac-Man Jones and Ron the Truth Killings hit the ring and attack Sting.
What? Pac-Man Jones, the NFL player.
Yep. They beat Sting down, spray paint packed on his back, total blindside attack.
And Angle, what did he do?
Angle comes back out and chases them off. The wrap-up hosts noted it showed Angle's babyface side, strangely enough.
Okay, so layers there. Sting wins, gets attacked by Pac-Man and Truth. Angle makes the save. But he's teaming with Sting now.
Right. It builds intrigue. Is Angle genuine? What's the deal with Pac-Man and Truth? Classic wrestling cliffhanger stuff. Keeps you guessing.
Definitely complex storytelling there. High stakes, betrayal, unlikely alliances.
Okay, let's wrap up our look back at this wrap-up episode with their memorable match of the week.
Yes, the History Lessons segment. What did they pick?
Hulk Hogan versus The Undertaker.
Yeah.
But they messed up the year at first. Said 2001, then quickly corrected to 1991. Joey Holmes chimed in, "I haven't had a drink in a while," as his excuse.
Perfect. So Survivor Series 1991, that's a big one.
Huge. It was Undertaker's first WWE Championship win.
Only a year after his debut, right? That was incredibly fast back then.
Exactly. And the wrap-up hosts pointed out another key fact. It was the very first singles match ever at a Survivor Series.
That's right. Survivor Series was always about the elimination tag matches originally. That match was a big shift.
Yeah, Undertaker winning the title, so young in his career, so unique, even though he lost it back like 2 days later at Tuesday in Texas.
Still, that moment at Survivor Series 91 is iconic. It cemented Taker as a main event player. Great pick by the wrap-up.
Yeah, and it shows how they catered to fans who appreciate the history, that learner aspect, wanting context.
Absolutely. Understanding where things came from enhances the present. It's why history segments like that resonate.
They also recommended the Undertaker and Hogan DVDs as good buys, praising the full match listings.
Good practical advice for collectors back then, too.
So, looking back at this whole 2007 wrap-up episode, it really was quite the ride. That blend of serious wrestling analysis, the high stakes in the ring, mixed with just utterly ridiculous comedy.
It really highlights the unique appeal of pro wrestling, doesn't it? That ability to be a drama, an action show, a comedy, sometimes all at once.
It's a variety show, essentially.
Exactly. And this wrap-up episode is like a perfect time capsule of that, showing how dramatic moments like Orton attacking Cena's dad could exist alongside, well, the $6 million pan and Martian Andre the Giant.
It's a wild mix, but somehow it works.
It creates a really rich, diverse form of entertainment. Something for everyone, maybe.
Perhaps. Which leads to a thought for you listening. How do you think wrestling strikes that balance between the serious in-ring stuff and the more comedic, sometimes completely over-the-top character moments?
Yeah, what's your favorite example of wrestling using humor really well? Or maybe a storyline that just shocked you and stuck with you, like the Orton attack.
It's interesting to think about what makes these moments land and how does that balance shift over time?
Definitely something to consider.
Thanks for joining us for this look back. We hope it gets you thinking maybe about how the entertainment you enjoy now might be seen years down the line.
Just like we looked back at this slice of 2007 wrestling craziness. Until next time.
How's it going, everybody? It's Jake from the Down the Middle podcast, and I want to take a quick moment to invite you to check out our show, which airs every other Thursday at 8:30 p.m. on YouTube. If you love pro wrestling, you're definitely going to want to check this out. We talk about the latest in pro wrestling.
AEW's pay-per-views are rough, man. And it's obvious, like, Tony Khan is booking for Tony Khan, and it's obvious because Tony Khan has clinical freaking ADHD, but the kind where, like, you can hyper-focus on the thing you love. He's like, I legitimately want to watch wrestling for 7 hours. It's like, Tony.
Not everybody else does.
Hardly anybody else does.
We talk about some of our favorite things in pro wrestling.
One of the best promos ever. Like, can we just say, like, I had fucking goosebumps. And here's the thing, I know it's a work, but I'm watching that and I'm like, I think MJF might have duped somebody.
And we have a hot take here and there, too.
Nothing against Riho. It's just like, do you think the audience is fucking stupid? Riho weighs 98 pounds.
The vast majority of great moments in professional wrestling have nothing to do with the move. Don't get me wrong, the moves are part of it. Cena's like, I don't even remember how I won. Everybody remembers this.
But the best part about our show is that you are part of the conversation. So check out the show and join in the fun.